Unsyndicated presents What the Puck with Sean Baligian.
Hey, what is up? So glad you can join us. It is a Tuesday night. So happy to be doing What the Puck again. Listen, normally we're talking about what's going on in the National Hockey League, what's going on in the OHL, the college ranks, even the high school ranks. But tonight we have a very special edition. It's like a sitcom from the 80s. A very special edition of What the Puck. But all jokes aside, we have some special guests with us talking about a special thing. I've said time and time again, and if you've watched this show, I will help out the Red Wing alumni in regards to anything that they're doing, because I think not enough is said about how the Red Wing alumni continues to give back literally on a weekly basis and sometimes a couple times a week. And this one is near and dear to my heart because I know a few of the guys that are in this chat right now. And I was a very small part of what was a fantastic event last year, and an event that's been happening for a long, long time. So even though we've got some hockey gods in this room, I'm going to start with Paul Sabatini. Paul, first of all, it's a pleasure to chat with you again. And quite frankly, you are the reason that we are here. Stahls Power Play for Heroes 2024 is coming up. I love the idea. I wish I could be there this year. Unfortunately, work beckons me on that particular night. But tell us about this. You know, I mean, look, it's become a tradition, this annual event.
Yes. Thank you for having us, Sean, tonight. And thank you for being a part of it last year. I'm glad you could make it. But yeah, this is our 8th annual, the Stahls Power Play for Heroes charity hockey game. It supports our veterans and the charity, which is Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs. The game features the Detroit Red Wings alumni and Team Stahls. And this year's game is November 15th on Friday at St. Clair Shore Civic Arena at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are just $10. Kids 10 and under are free. And we like to make it more than just a game. So it's more of an experience for the people to attend. And it's kind of like a family atmosphere, I guess you can say. We've got auctions, memorabilia, 50-50 raffle, gift basket raffle. There's face painting. Al Sabatka is going to be on hand. And he'll be throwing some plushy octopi into the crowd. Steve Carlson's going to be part of it. And he'll be doing a photo opportunity in between periods. I've got the replica Stanley Cup. We have the Ted Lindsay trophy there, so you can get your picture with that. And everything raised that night is for Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs.
I love it so much because I think I got caught up in it myself last year. I mean, all the fun of the event and, you know, seeing a bunch of guys from yesteryear and guys like my pal Mac and, you know, obviously celebrities like Steve, whatever the case may be. But it's almost like you have to stop for a second and remind yourself why you are there, because there's a heck of a lot of fun going on, but you can't emphasize enough that this is, again, a power play for heroes, and we are helping a pretty important charity.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we honor veterans before the game because that's what it's all about, right? Is our veterans and raising money for Guardian Angel Medical Service Dogs. It actually does change a life and save a life. And I think Matt will be able to speak on that on behalf of Guardian Angels, but it definitely makes a difference. We thank everybody's contribution. We thank the alumni, everything that Darren does for us in helping promote the event. And this year having Steve Carlson, I mean, it's just an amazing game that we're going to have, and we're just so proud to be part of it.
Yeah, you know, before we get to those guys, I think that's a perfect segue to bring in Matthew McMurray. And Matthew was kind enough to give us Cobalt Cam. Look at that beauty. My goodness gracious. If you don't love dogs, there's something wrong with you. And then you got a super service dog and Cobalt. Look at that beauty right there. But Matthew, first of all, thanks so much for joining us and tell us a little bit about what you do as well.
Thanks a lot, Sean. I'm actually an ambassador for Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs. I was a recipient of Cobalt 6 years ago, and we've been paired up ever since. It's been life-changing for me. It's helped me kind of get my stuff together and kind of become a productive member of society again, you know. The fact is we lose 23 veterans a day to suicide. And we have 10 times as many that are self-medicating with drugs and alcohol, and reckless behavior and things like that. This organization, they've been pairing veterans and first responders with service dogs for the last 14 years. They've given away almost 450 dogs for free, might I add. And they've had 0 suicides.
That's amazing.
And that's remarkable. They've received numerous VETI awards, suicide prevention awards across the country for what they do. These dogs are phenomenal. They're amazing.
What a beautiful thing that is. I mean, just hearing you say that, and you know, we were all talking about dogs coincidentally before this even started. There's just something about a dog and the unconditional love and everything. Talk about your experience with Cobalt. It's what a beauty. I want to give Cobalt a big hug right now. I'm such a sucker for dogs, but tell us the difference that Cobalt has made in your life.
Well, before I had him, I was borderline agoraphobic. I didn't want to leave the house. I mean, I was afraid of, you know, when I was driving, if I saw trash on the side of the road, because I didn't know if it was an IED or not, if it was going to blow up, right? I was knocking my boots on the floor every morning when I got up to make sure that there weren't any critters in there that got in there overnight, you know, things like that had become habitual for me. Hyper awareness, not wanting to be in crowds or in public. So like the mall was out, concerts were out. My circle got really, really small, and it was just mostly my immediate family for a period of time. So he's helped me break out of that now. And I go to, you know, concerts all the time. I go to events where we represent guardian angels, and it gives me an opportunity to pay it forward. There's a couple of veterans that we've met at some of these events that we've helped get paired with service dogs, and they would tell you the same thing. It's been life altering.
This is such a win-win situation. I mean, you just hear the testimony there from Matthew McMurray kindly joining us. And Paul Sabatini, I need to reiterate, November 15th out in St. Clair Shores, only $10. You're helping more than you can even understand. How can people get tickets? We got the logo up there. What's the best way to get tickets, Paul?
So you can get tickets a couple of ways. So you can go to stahlshero24.eventbrite.com, or you can purchase tickets at the door that night as well. And if you'd like to if you can't make it and you want to make a donation, you can go to the stahlshero24.eventbrite.com and make a donation as well.
You know, one of the many reasons why you hear me say this all the time, hockey's the greatest sport on earth. I'll never say anything otherwise, is the way that this sport gives back, you know, whether it be the things that the Alumni Association are doing, or our very special guest, him being a part of this. He certainly needs no introduction. Steve Carlson, yes, one of the Hanson brothers, kindly joining us. And Steve, first of all, I can't thank you enough for joining us here and for lending your, whether you want to say it or not, your personality and your celebrity to such a great cause. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
Sean, thank you so much. I'm feeling really good. The last few years have been tough on me. We had the COVID, then I had stage 4 throat cancer that I've battled through it. I'm cancer free right now. And then I got into a bike accident that last summer in July, that I was in trauma for 3 days. But I'm all healed from that. And I'm ready to get back, because I want to get back on the road. I want to get back to meeting people again, putting smiles on faces, and just talking hockey. And I'm looking forward to this event. It's my second event I have done since I've been back. I did the alumni, Red Wings alumni in Marquette, Michigan, about 4 weeks ago, which was a great event for us. And with this event now coming up, it covers 2 of my events or organizations that I really dearly, truly love. My first one is the mentally challenged children, but then it's the military and the service dogs. Those are the 3 charities I really support, and I've got 2 of them coming in one event, which is I'm looking forward to it.
It is amazing, and as somebody who's followed your journey, and you've been very forthright about some of the things that you've gone on, you're still somebody that continues to give back. And, you know, I think people know what a hockey player you are and certainly were. I mean, you always will be. But, you know, I'm sure you've been asked this 271 times. Let me make it 272. Do you ever sit back and say, wow, this movie that we made back in 1977 has become a generational classic, where I told you it's not just like guys like Mac and I driving to, whether it be Ottawa or Belleville or whatever the case may be, watching it on a bus. It's for our children now as well. It's for his son Griffin. It's for my son Jack that, were born many, many years after. Did you ever think for a second that Slapshot would have the impact that it's had?
Oh, no question about it, because you have three great-looking guys with all the talent in the world. How can it go wrong? It has everything a man wants: foul language, violence, and sex. Come on. What else do you ask for in a movie?
It is. I would put it up there with, when you're talking about quotable movies. Honestly, it's one of the most quotable movies. It's. I told you, my son will routinely text me once a day with just a different quote from the movie. I'm sure, it's the same thing for you as well.
Well, it really is, and I've seen the movie. I can't even count how many times I've seen the movie, and I still giggle at it because I know exactly what's going to happen. I know exactly the lines that are coming. I still laugh at it because, people got to realize at that time in the hockey world, it was during the Broad Street Bully days where that was the game.
Yep.
And if, in your face hockey, if a fight breaks out, so be it. That's the game. It's a contact sport. And a lot of the stuff that happened in the movie is really true. Where we went in the stands in Utica, New York, and Jeff got hit in the face with, we call it a tire and the keys to the camper and all that stuff. And I'll give you a story on that one. About 10 years ago, I got a call from a gentleman from Utica, New York. And he said to me, he goes, I want to apologize to you. In 1974, I'm the young 16-year-old punk that threw the ice cube and hit your brother Jeff in the face. I want to apologize for that.
Oh, gosh.
And but that was the game. When a fight breaks out, all the players dropped their gloves and got into it. They grabbed on and all that stuff. Jump in the team in warm-ups. That actually happened against the Buffalo Norsemen. We did that. They refused to come back on the ice for that. And it was just one of those times in the era of the game of hockey used to be that way. Someone has to want, they should be hit.
It's a beautiful thing. Steve Carlson will be out there in St. Clair Shores once again, November 15th. And, we're having fun. We're talking about, the celebrities that'll be there, all the great hockey players that'll be there. Don't forget what it's all about. And that's the cool thing with Stahls Power Play for Heroes, a guy that knows a little something about it. He's been
Sean, before you start, we're going to try to change this a little bit in the movie Slapshot. We always talk about old time hockey like Eddie Short, Dick Clapper, Toe Blake, and Gordie Howe. Gordie. Well, this time now at this era, it's Darren McCarty, Joey Kosher, Bob Probert, and Gordie Howe. Gordie.
Hey, Steve, don't worry. Wait till you see Paul skating around there with his Ovechkin visor and shaded and tinted. He's gonna get a Gordie all good.
Well,
we'll have it. We'll trip his ass. We'll have him crapping bricks.
Something might happen in warm-ups. I'm not sure, because warm-ups are part of the game also. So you got to keep your head up in warm-ups.
Well, you know what? I would look on like Caesar Sportsbook or FanDuel about the odds of you making it through warm-up. I mean, that's always usually what the bet is. If you make it through warm-up, you usually make it through the game. But I mean, just reputation and how exciting for Joey Kosher and myself to be able to play with Steve Carlson, one of the Hanson brothers. And I know, like, back in the day, we've done stuff, even my rookie year, 30 years ago with Proby on the bench and stuff, and there's videos of it. So this goes back, I think, Sean, it touches into a couple things with what the community is about, but the hockey world. What makes it so it doesn't even matter if you made a hockey movie. These guys are hockey players at heart, and it's always about giving back. Now, you look at Steve, who's obviously personally gone through, some stuff, but his story too combines to the perseverance because the championships ain't about, nobody wins without losing and figuring out why you have to compete. And I think that's the when us old guys, when they say get off my lawn, when we talk about that, it's just there's just a a commitment to the cause, right? Because he wasn't fighting for himself, even in the way in the movie they were doing it, to make the team better. So,
No doubt,
what
no question.
it's a
Everyone had
commitment.
to,
One of the things
everyone had to roll. Everyone had to roll on the team, and not everyone can be a superstar. I truly believe this. The third and fourth liners win the Stanley Cup. The third and fourth liners win the cup.
Ask the Red Wings.
if they can produce when they need to, right?
Yeah.
They just got to get timely, chip in timely. But every championship team, you can look to their third and fourth line, to what you said, Steve, exactly, and they played a pivotal part, and that's just historic. One of the things I wanted to say, Sean, as you look at the Stahls produced Red Wing alumni jersey that we will be sporting on on November 15th. Is there's a change in guard in the alumni and the regime. So now Drew Miller and Danny DeKaiser are now the president, vice president. And why is this important? Because we're getting more of a new influx, and I think it's all about what's the most important thing for us alumni as it goes to the Guardian Angel Service Dogs, as it goes to what Paul and Stahls and everybody. It's the community. So it's giving back. So if there's connections and this opens up relationships, what I'm proud about is I've met Cobalt a bunch of times, and I see Matthew to tell me he's agoraphobic, and yet I see him out at all these events helping out veterans, and just, knowing that his, what the service is and how things in his story. I think that's the biggest thing that we can all say, is that yes, hockey brings us together, but it's our stories that everybody can relate to, and then we get to go out and shoot a puck around and have some fun.
Darren McCarty, of course. I didn't get a chance to introduce him, but I think everybody. Little Mutual. No, Matt, come on, everybody knows you around here. Little Mutual Respect Society. If you guys don't mind me saying, we were talking about how I got a chance to see Mac when he was playing for Belleville, and I say it all the time. Guy was a sniper, best winger in the league. Period, end of story. And it was funny. The first thing that Steve said as we were talking about the glory days, he said, "I remember that goal in '97. You got to be a sniper to score a goal like that." So talent sees talent, and no doubt about that. Mac, I want to talk not only about this event again, November 15th, out in St. Clair Shores, just a fun night. But I say it all the time to you, pal. What you guys are doing, it's not just every week. Sometimes it's a couple times a week. The Red Wing alumni, what you guys are doing out in the community is something special. And I know it means a lot to you guys.
Well, it does, and I think this is just an extension of it, but it goes with the community to open it up to have this win-win, relationships, no matter what it is. So I think we're very fortunate in this town. I think that the as far as compassion for your neighbor and the way that things have done, is that everybody through life experienced different things at different times. But if you know that, you can always go back to, and in this town, Red Wing hockey, right? Or even to the more is connection to hockey. Because even if you're not a Wings fan, but you're from around here, there is a special bond with that. Look at how many beer leagues and people that like Paulie are out there, doing it because they love the game. Not even getting paid. Who believes that crap? It's crazy, right? But that's why I love it. I always equate hockey to golf, right? Is that when you learn to play, you can pick it up and put it down for however life treats you, but it always brings you back because it's the camaraderie. Right, it's the people that you play with. It's not really like who really cares what you shoot. You go home, your dog impressed, your wife impressed. Maybe you win money because you're gambling, but no, it's the camaraderie, and it's the same thing as what you miss. You don't miss the bumps and bruises about the game, but you miss the camaraderie and the people. So this is just a great way to be able to continue it.
Yeah, the locker room was the best experience, right? It's still the best experience is the locker room with the guys.
Well, you're going to be able to see these two gentlemen out there. It's a special night. Again, so many former stars, so many celebrities like Steve Carlson and Matthew. And of course, is Cobalt going to be there, Matthew? I'm going to ask because I'm sure anybody that, yes, I love to hear that. Cobalt's going to be there. Matthew, did you grow up a hockey fan? Is this something that you grew up around the game, or is this something as time went on and you know, you were involved in things like this, you grew an appreciation for the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a lifelong Detroiter. Always loved the Wings, especially when they were hot back when Darren was playing. You know, yeah. So we'll be there. I think they're going to have us drop the puck. This will be the
awesome.
third time doing that. Cobalt and I will be out there represent Guardian Angels, and we'll drop the puck. And you know, I got a good story here about last year. Last year, I brought a Marine Corps veteran who had been going through some distress. I brought him to the game with me, and I took him into the locker room with Darren. He got to see some of the players, say hello. Well, I had Darren sign a puck for me, right? Now, you would think that I would take a signed puck or something like that from Darren and put it on eBay, right? Try and sell it, make a little cheddar. Well, the first one I got is sitting right back here in the corner on display. Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, I would have.
Yeah. And the one you gave me last year, when I got back to my house with my buddy and I was going to send him on his way, I handed it to him and he's like, "This is yours." I said, "No, mine's right there." I said, "I got this one for you, bud." And he's still with us now. I mean, he was a huge Wings fan, huge. The dude literally started crying. He wasn't interested in getting a service dog, but I think honestly that was like a big moment for him to receive that. I mean, he literally, his hand was shaking.
Oh,
and he was just like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." And he was just so stoked about that. And, you know, I mean, the whole reason for us doing this is to enrich somebody's life with a dog. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but these dogs cost anywhere from $27,000 to $30,000 to train. And they do everything from PTSD. They do TBI, which is traumatic brain injury. Anybody that's had a concussion has had some sort of TBI, but a lot of our veterans, they have seizures, seizure alert. They do diabetic alert. They do mobility, like if you need the dog to pick something up off the floor, or you drop something or get something out of the fridge. These dogs can be trained for a variety of things, and they're in tune with their handler so much so that they can be laying there like, looks like he's sleeping, but he's not. He's got one eye open, you know, watching my six, and he's always alert. And just the slightest trigger, and he'll get up and he'll let me know, hey, something's wrong. These dogs are amazing. But yeah, 30 grand a dog, on average, $27,000 to $30,000.
Just another reason why, hey, come out, have a great time, support a great cause. Once again, November 15th, out in St. Clair Shores. There's the information. If you need any more information, reach out to me. I'll help you out with anything that I can do. At least put you in touch with Paul. Trust me, folks, I've been out there. This is a great time, and certainly this should be a great event. Steve, do you keep in touch with the guys from the cast? I know so many years have passed now. I mean, my goodness gracious, it's 47 years since the movie came out. But have you been able to keep in touch with some of the? I mean, not only your Hanson brothers, but maybe even some of the people that were part of the cast.
Well, we used to do a couple events with Jerry Hauser, who was Killer Carlson, Alan Nichols, who was Johnny Upton, Yvonne Barrette, the goaltender, the French goaltender. But in the last 4 years, the Hanson brothers have not toured. We had the COVID where we couldn't tour. I had the cancer, couldn't tour. Then I had the bike accident. This will be the second time I'll be on the ice in the last 4 years. I'm going to be on the ice this weekend with this weekend I'm playing in a game with the Johnstown Generals military team against the Pittsburgh Penguins alumni team.
That's awesome.
So we're playing the event in Johnstown here, but we haven't toured a little bit. I'm going back on the road now. I'm getting back healthy again, so I'm looking forward to getting back. And my life has changed around. I was baptized in 2021, which was a great event for me. And instead of me going on the road now and partying, I'm going to have a great time. There's no question about it. But I want to give thanks to all the people that supported me during my trials and troubles I had with cancer and all that stuff. And I want to go back on the road and thank them personally.
Oh, God bless you. That's awesome. It's all about Mac. I know you know this. It's all about finding that peace, and hey, here I am, open book. I've always appreciated you. It's all about finding that peace, right, Mac?
Yeah, you know what? It starts with looking in the mirror, and sometimes you're going to be put in a position, that you might say, "Why is me?" But it's the fact that you power through it, and you realize your strength empowers other people. Like when Matt tells me that about the puck, it reminds me that the stuff in my head isn't true. The impact that I have is true, and I think with Steve too, it's like the questions that he's been through, but he's powered through it. And what I love too, what is why hockey players vulnerability is not, we aren't afraid to be vulnerable when somebody tells us that it's going to help somebody else. And so I applaud Steve for in his journey with the cancer out of it, because it shares. He shared, his remission is shared. He realizes not only with him, but with hundreds of thousands of people, right? So and then I think it's like just like the role we play on the ice or even in the movie, but like Steve played a same sort of role, not as maybe as goonish in real life, but you played physical as a player. You were at that
Well,
that time.
I can tell you this one, Mac. My brothers were the enforcers. I taught everyone how to turtle.
Well, you had to say no. You were raped. You had to start it. Somebody had to start
I
it.
started, and I said, "Okay, boys, go ahead and take care of business."
Absolutely.
I jump in their corner. Who's the fool? I'm not going again. I'll be in the deep slot.
That's why you got dummies like me.
Couple of hockey treasures. There's no doubt about that. Steve, Carlson, Darren, McCarty, Matthew, of course. It's so happy for your journey. And Paul, put a big bow on this again. It's November 15th. It's out in St. Clair Shores. I personally vouch for this. This is a fantastic event. Make no mistake about that. I guarantee you'll have fun. And most importantly, Paul, I keep saying this, you can't forget why we're doing this event.
Yeah, the main reason is for our veterans. And like I said, you're saving a life, you're changing a life. That's what Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs do. And Matt's a perfect example of that. But yeah, come show your support for the game, for the charity. We appreciate everybody who can attend. And if you can't attend and you want to make a donation, again, you can go to stahlshero24.eventbrite.com. And I want to also announce from 6:15 to 7 o'clock, we're going to have Drew Miller and Danny DeKaiser signing autographs before the game. That'll be happening upstairs in the Gardens rink. And then in between periods, Steve is going to be available for photos with the fans as well. So we want to make it, just like I said, an experience for everybody. Just come have fun. It's a family fun environment. Although there is beer and wine there, but everything else, it's all a family fun environment, all for a great cause, raising money for Guardian Angels Medical Service Dogs. Yeah,
how stinking cool. I mean, it is such a win-win situation. And as I mentioned, I hope I'm not making either one of them blush for a myriad of reasons. A couple of legends are representing here right now in Steve Carlson and Darren McCarty. Steve, quickly before we let you guys go and we all look forward to this event, once again, November 15th out in St. Clair Shores. There's the information. Todd, great job with the logo. Certainly, as Paul said, if you can't make it out there, you're lost. But if you can help in any way, shape, or form, we'd love to be a part of it. We were talking, Steve, if you don't mind, about the game today. And a lot of times, guys from my generation, Mac and I talk about this all the time. You guys are Neanderthals, and that's a game from yesterday and everything. Obviously, the game is doing well right now, and it's gaining momentum, and that's the most important thing. But don't we all miss a little bit of yesteryear, Steve? Is that fair for us to say?
Well, when I look at the game nowadays, when you're going up the ice and all of a sudden their defenseman unloads on you, and you're looking for a pass from your defenseman, and that defenseman unloads on you, they go after the guy that hit you. Back in our day, we'd go after our defenseman that gave us a sucker pass. You're not supposed to give me that pass. Scott Stevens would be banned from life if he played the game right now. he wouldn't be able to play a game at all. He would be suspended forever. But he hit you hard, and you're always aware when he's on the ice. Don't go on his side of the ice, and make sure when you pass the puck, don't watch your pass. Make sure you see Scott Stevens coming at you. But that's the game. You know, I understand they've changed the game for speed, talent, and all that stuff. Very exciting, no question about it. There's very talented players in this game of hockey right now, but I still like the old style. I just like that 2-1, 3-1 game, in-your-face hockey, up and down the ice, good defensive, solid game. Someone has the puck, they should be hit, and let's play the game. And the referee, just stay out of it. Just watch us play.
I'd love hearing it. Mac, that's what you and I grew up with, man, that black and blue Norris Division hockey. There's just nothing like it. Nothing like it.
To Steve's point, in our day, you go through the middle, your head down, you get lit up. You know what? That's your fault. Or you might have an issue with your D-man. Today, they get mad at the guy that hits you clean in the middle for you being dumb.
Yeah.
Right. So
Exactly.
the only time that it comes back and reverts back to the old game is when playoffs start. So we'll get it again in April.
That's right. That's right. You see it in the playoffs back here. Exactly right. You know, the referees put their whistle away and okay, let the boys play. And you know what? All in the playoffs, you look at all the playoff hockey players. They have a lot of respect. They don't do nothing stupid. They hit you hard. And they hit you clean.
Playoffs is in the NHL is awesome, and it almost reverts back to they play, you know, because they're allowed to play more, but they take in the regular season it's more like you said, run and gun, and you see at least somebody give a shit about their goaltender and maybe go introduce themselves before the game. Even the best of the best, they know to win championships, which they're there to do, not to win scoring trophies, that they have to play both sides of the game.
That's right. That's right.
I could sit here and talk to these guys all night, but we all have something to do. But I want to bring it back to where we started. This is a great event. Matthew, God bless you. I'm so glad that things are going well in your life and you're giving back the way that you are. Steve, personally, I'll say it again, you are a treasure, whether you want to hear it or not. And God is obviously blessing you and seeing you through some tribulations. And I'm so happy that you're blessed and doing well. And Matt, keep doing what you're doing, man. I mean, not only on Woodward, but you know what you're doing down at the games and what you're doing in these alumni games. You can't put a price tag on the impact you're making in this town, my friend. And I appreciate you as always. Paul, once again, November 15th, tell people how they can be a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. You can go to stallshero24.eventbrite.com. Order your tickets online, or you can buy tickets at the door. And like I said, if you can't make it, if you want to donate, go to stallshero24.eventbrite.com.
Great stuff, gentlemen. Really appreciate it. All the best, not only in this event, but beyond, and really appreciate you all taking the time tonight.
Thanks, Sean. And I'll be bringing the foil.
I'm bringing the foil.
Yes.
See you November 15th, fellas. For Todd, thank you so much. I'm Sean Baligian. Thanks for watching What the Puck.
What the Puck with Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Always Pushing Forward by Elliot Middleton. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.